the first 4 episodes of the Ultimate Spider-Man series. Warning: spoilers. Now, the first 2 episodes, which is basically one episode split into two, tells us what's going on. Peter Parker has been Spider-Man for over a year, and Nick Fury tells him that, hey, I want you to work for S.H.I.E.L.D. I think you have great potential, and I think you will be great. You'll become the Ultimate Spider-Man if you work for S.H.I.E.L.D. Peter is wondering whether or not to join, but after battling the Frightful Three, because he took down the fourth member in the opener, opening the show, he decides that, yeah, I'm going to join S.H.I.E.L.D. After seeing some weapons, which will show up, in the show later, like the advanced web shooters and spider cycle, and the hint of the spider armor, which will be showing up in the 5th episode, which I know a lot of people are saying it's just to sell damn toys. Well, yeah, I can agree with that, but think about it. Spider-Man has advanced weapons in the comics right now. Hell, he has a freaking glider. And I'm sorry, I'm going to take the motorcycle over the glider. But yeah, Spider-Man does admit that it's kind of weird with the motorcycle, but Kirk Connors, who has invented the Spider Gear in this show, tells them that, look, this stuff will help you. The motorcycle will get you places faster, and you won't lose so much web fluid. Peter admits that, yeah, you might have a point there. Test it out, but it doesn't go so well. It kind of shows that later Spider-Man gets a little better at, using it in the 4th episode. But I'll get into the 4th episode later. We are introduced to a new team, which has Nova, Iron Fist, Power Man, who in here is Luke Cage, and White Tiger. Now, besides Luke Cage, I know nothing about these characters. I will say that the Power Man here is kind of close to it. Like, he's obviously younger, and he's not wearing the outfit he wears in the comics, because in here he actually has a secret identity. He is wearing the outfit the new Power Man is wearing, which I think is kind of cool. Spider-Man's thinking that, I don't really want to join a team, but after fighting the Frightful Three again, and getting help from the team, he decides, what the hell? And, he becomes a new leader. And then the next episode, Peter Parker is having issues with one of the members, Nova, because in here, Nova is going to be apparently the stereotypical hothead who wants to be a leader. Every team has to have one. And, Peter, and Nova kind of screw up a freaking training, session where they had to get out of a room safely without triggering any traps. Instead, they thought it was a combat training where they had to destroy all the traps. And Nick Fury's not happy and tells them that they're not going to go on any missions for doing that. He doesn't think they're ready yet. White Tiger thinks that maybe that they can do better if they, take down a villain on the S.H.I.E.L.D.'s most wanted list. But when they kind of go lower on the list, Nova thinks, screw that, I'm going to go high in the list, and tries to go after Doctor Doom. And they fight him, and, they send him to S.H.I.E.L.D., but it turns out it's not Doctor Doom, it's a Doom bot that carries little Doom bots that carry little Doom bots, and so on and so forth. And after they take down all the Doom bots, Nick Fury's pissed off and tells them that if you try this crap again, you're out of S.H.I.E.L.D. And they all understand. And after that, Doctor Doom tells them that they're on his shit list. Like, obviously he didn't say that, but he might as well have. And then we have the 4th episode, which introduced Venom. Now, after Spider-Man, uses the Spider motorcycle, we learn that he's getting a little better riding it, but not really good at using the, buttons. Like, he presses the button, and it kind of helps a little bit, but it doesn't go so well when the robot that's chasing him actually, hits him in the ass and rips off a piece of his outfit. And when Spider-Man destroys the robot, it turns out that that thing actually stole parts of his DNA and is sending it to the main villain of the show, well, one of the main villains, Dr. Octavius. And, he tells Norman Osborn, his boss, that, he's created, a new organism with Spider-Man's DNA. And, this thing is basically pure rage, pure venom, and tells him that this thing needs to be tested before we, even think about using it for military purposes, because that's what Norman Osborn wants to use Spider-Man DNA for, military purposes. And, but he says, bullcrap to that, and when he gets there, he finds out that Doc Ock's creation has escaped and is trying to go and find Spider-Man, which is at Harry Osborn's place, because Harry decided to have a freaking big party, and when Peter senses Venom, which I don't understand. I'm going to get into that after I'm done talking about the episode. Venom shows up, and instead of getting Peter Parker, it ends up getting Flash Thompson. Obviously, a reference to what's going on in the comics now is Flash Thompson being Venom. Peter has to fight him, and when the team shows up to help Peter out, Nova, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist get infected. And, the suit makes him stronger, so Peter has more difficulty fighting these people, especially since they're his teammates. And, Peter decides to sacrifice himself, and, he bonds with the creature, and the creature officially calls itself Venom. Now, the show is pretty good. Like, I wasn't really seeing something really great, like Spectacular Spider-Man, but it was still pretty good. It's not, completely based on the Ultimate series. Like, for example, Doctor Doom actually does wear armor. Venom's origin is more of a combination of the Ultimate Venom and the Ultimate Carnage origin, with this thing being a part of Peter's DNA. Dr. Octopus seems to be very different too, because in the comics, he worked for Norman, but he actually was able to control the tentacles with his mind. He could just make tentacles out of, just basically metal. Same with Magneto, except he was able to, he just basically made tentacles with them. Norman Osborn is, pretty much like Norman Osborn. MJ, for some reason, wants to be a reporter, which I think is kind of weird. I don't remember her in the Ultimate Comics wanting to be a reporter. I don't really recall if she wanted to be an actress, but whatever. I'll have to look up on that again. It's been a while since I've read the earlier Ultimate books. The voice acting's pretty good. I think they did a good job casting the characters. I love the choice for J. Jonah Jameson being the actor that played him in the live-action Spider-Man movies. I thought he was always fun to watch in those. The designs of the characters are pretty cool. It's kind of a combination of the designs that Mark did when he did the artwork for the series, and what David did when he did the artwork for the series when they relaunched them. And, I think they did a good job at doing that. Now, if you're a fan of Ultimate Spider-Man and want to see a, full-on, adaptation, this is probably not what you're looking for. But if you are a Spider-Man fan and you just want to watch a good show, I say check the show out. Yeah, it has a bunch of visual gags, and they do break the fourth wall several times, but they don't do it so much that, it gets painfully annoying. They do it in the right amount, and I think it sometimes helps with the comedy. I always laugh when they did the whole, little Nick Fury talking to Spider-Man when he was fighting Venom, telling him to frickin' use the damn electric web shooters, and Peter even acknowledging that even his imagination is starting to get weird to him. I thought that was kind of good. I do hope, though, the team isn't used that much, because then they might as well just call this series Avenging Spider-Man, because that's what's going on in that series. But that's all I can really say about the Ultimate Spider-Man series. Next video, I'll be talking about the next Young Justice episode coming tomorrow morning.